everybody. I haven't been vlogging doing our like second trimester little snippets until today. I'm going to give you a brief overview of everything that's happened during our second trimester so far, and then what we're going to get up to today, which is very exciting. Now, I am due a scan, so I've got to drink all of this before we leave and pray that my bladder can hold it so that I can have my scan. So let's drink some of this first and then we'll get started. Second trimester goes from weeks 13 up to week 26. I am currently 18 weeks pregnant. Is it 18 or was it 19 yesterday? I think it might be 19 plus 1 today, which is scary to think about, nearly halfway, potentially halfway. Last video I posted would have been our video of telling everybody that we were having a baby. And then my next video, which needs to go up, is my first trimester overview summary. And it feels really weird that that's probably going to go up later today or like over the weekend. And I'm currently filming my second trimester update. Bit strange, bit weird. Because we found out at our 12-week scan that we were actually 13 plus 3, based on the size of Bubba. And yeah, it seems crazy. It feels like in that moment you're like, you try and work out how far along you are because of when your missed period was, and then you go to your scan, they measure you, and then they're like, yeah, actually you're further along, and it's like, what? Mind blown. But we had screening for the chromosome abnormalities, which, to be fair, walking into this pregnancy, I didn't have a Scooby-Doo what it was going to be looking for, but they look for Down syndrome, Edwards syndrome, and I call it Patau's syndrome, Patau's, however you like to say it. And thankfully we are low risk for all three. Now, it is something that before we went into it, I was doing lots of research about it, and people were saying that they don't, like, you don't have to do it, it's optional, you can make the choice about whether you want to do it. But Jay and I had the conversation, we were just like, look, it's our first pregnancy and we're just gonna, if the option's there to have tests, then we might as well have it, especially if it gives us extra peace of mind, especially me being my anxious little ball of energy. It would make sense to do that. But then after I had that scan, we then received results that were basically telling us that I have low PAPA, which is like a protein, and it's to do with your placenta. And my placenta basically doesn't, it's not like, so the way I explained it to my mother is, imagine when you vacuum pack something, the baby is inside the vacuum pack, and then the nozzle coming off of it is your umbilical cord, and then the Hoover compartment itself is the placenta. And my PAPA has got the issue with like the Hoover part of it, where the placenta is and where it attaches onto me, and it just means that my blood flow through it is very, very fast, very, very quick, and it's quite thin, and the placenta isn't always fully formed or attached onto like the wall of my uterus, and it just sometimes means that your baby doesn't necessarily get everything that it needs, so it might not grow as quick as it needs to, so it might be a little bit smaller. But the only thing is, with being low PAPA, it just means that you have to take aspirin, which I was already on twice a day taking aspirin, and you just basically go from 28 weeks of your pregnancy, you then go in for extra scans just to make sure that baby's okay. And I was like, you know what, if that is the case, then that's fine, because then that gives me a little bit more peace of mind that everything is okay, and it means that I'll be under consultant-led care rather than it being just my midwife, which is a different thing. And then it brings me on to today, the reason I need to be drinking this. It feels crazy. I really struggle. I feel like this is like my trigger point, because the last time I did this was for the 12-week scan, and by the time I got to the end of like the amount of water I needed to be drinking, I then threw it back up. And I'm a little bit worried that that's going to be the case again here, because I try to drink as much as I can throughout the day as it is, but I don't drink this in like a short period of time. And we're going to be leaving at 2. My scan is at 3. So meant to drink an hour before, but I don't want to be drinking in the way in the car, because that's like another one of my triggers. And if we're in the hospital, I'll get a bit hot and flustered, and that's another one of my triggers as well of potentially being sick. So I don't want to do that. I feel like, because we've got on to the point of today. So today is the anomaly scan. It's just basically checking that baby's okay, baby's forming properly, that they can see everything that they need to see. So I'm a little bit nervous about it, but then at the same time I'm really excited to see little one on the screen. I had a midwife appointment on Monday, and she used the little Doppler to, she was like, I'm really old school, like, if you are happy to do it, can we do it so that we can hear the baby? I was like, yeah, that's fine. Like, I feel like there's been such a big gap between week 12 and like where we are now, that yes, of course, I would love to be able to hear baby. So she put the Doppler on, and we could hear the baby's heartbeat, which was mind-blowing. It was amazing. And as she had the Doppler on my tummy, baby either kicked or punched, and we could hear it on it as well. And I was like, that just goes with like our week 12 scan, because our week 12 scan, the baby just wouldn't stay still. The baby was like moving around, and like, bless the sonographer, she had to like a really hard job of trying to get pictures of the baby, because the baby just would not stay still. So yeah, I'm excited, but I'm nervous, and I think it's just like a mixture of emotions that are normal to feel, because you're going in and you're going to find out, is the baby okay? Have they formed like everything that they needed to form okay? Are they happy? Are they healthy? Are they moving around and like being okay? But yeah, we've also decided that we are going to find out whether we are having a boy or a girl. So when we come out of the hospital, I think I'm gonna sit with Jamie in the car, and hopefully, fingers crossed, he'll want to be on camera and we can tell you guys what we are having. Obviously this video is not going to go up before everyone else finds out. We are going to do a bit of a gender reveal for everyone, to tell everyone what we're having. But I was a little bit sad, like when we went in for the 12-week scan, they've got like a notice up in there, and I don't know if it's the same with other like NHS hospitals as well, but it basically said like, when it comes to your like anomaly scan and your week 20 scan, if you find out the gender of the baby, we won't write it down for you, we will just tell the person who's obviously having the baby. And I was a bit like, oh, that's like shattered our dreams a little bit of having like a surprise for Jay and I at our gender reveal, as well as everyone else. But it's fine, because Jay and I were like, you know what, let's just take it. Jay said it especially, and he was like, let's just take it as a special moment for the two of us, let's enjoy it, and let's find out what the gender of the baby is, just us two, and then we get to tell everyone else. I know I'm going to be excited to tell everyone, but I know that Jamie's going to struggle with it even more than me. We just want to know what it is. It's so exciting. Yeah, I feel like my cheeks hurt from smiling. I feel like I should do a bump update, but the trousers I'm wearing today aren't really like bump. You don't really fully see my bump. I was wearing some stuff, like, if you follow me on TikTok, I will have had some videos posted of me like with my bump on holiday. And if you follow me on Instagram, I posted a little swimming costume with me and my bump, had a little one. But I feel like since we've come back, well, since we went on holiday and since we've come back from the honeymoon, I feel like I've popped a little bit more. I'm not drinking fast enough. This is so long. I really struggle to drink loads of water in like a short time scale. I didn't really think this through. I found it easier if I drink it through a straw, but my Stanley cup is at work because it doesn't fit in the car. We're also going through the current dilemma of, this is obviously not my usual filming background, because we have moved. We are now in a lovely little cottage in a village further away from where we were before. And this is like a 2-bed, lovely little place, and it's lovely, but it has a different postcode to where we were before. And my midwife has advised me to not change my address on, like, because I've still got access kind of to the post at our last place, because I don't want to be going to the hospital that is in this area. I want to go to the one that I'm connected to already, because I'm already with like the consultants and like everyone there, and I've already started my like process with them, and I love my midwife and I don't want to have to move away from her at the doctor's surgery to a different one. I don't know, it's just like, today's going to find out whether like when they book us in, whether I'll be able to say to them, look, can you like put like my correspondence address as this place so that I get all of my letters. But the minute we're like changing address, we've just moved. Feels really weird looking through this folder because it's like, it is like a proper like a hospital folder type thing. And like when you're going through it, it just feels really strange that I've got it here, because most of the time you'd have it at, and you would, not at home, at hospital, and it would stay in hospital and they'd keep your notes there. But we have it here, and I feel like it's a cute thing because it's something for us to keep an eye of. Let's drink this, and then I will prove to you I've drunk it all, and then we will do a little bump update. Nearly. I don't know. Okay, baby bump update. Can't really see anything from the front, but tiny. You can't see it in these trousers. I should have worn something different, but little bump, small one. You can see it more if I'm wearing certain things, but for now we look like this. Oh my god. Right, let's wait for Jay to get in the car. There you go. Okay, right.
I look massive.
What are we having?
Boy.
We're having a little boy. Oh my god.
I'm sticking to the name?
Yeah, but we're not telling everyone what the
okay,
name
we're not telling
is.
everyone what the
The
name is.
name's not happening until we've given birth.
Okay, fine.
We are sat back in, well I say we, it's me. Sat back in Jamie's car. We are currently on the way to do some errands, but this morning, the day after we found out we were having a little boy, I went to the toilet and wiped, and lo and behold, there is brown discharge again. Thought we were out of it. Off you go.
Obviously. Did you say bite it?
Whilst the four-legged creature, and yes I mean the dog, Ozzy, I mean you, and not Jamie, I thought I would give you guys an update on what's been going on, apart from this monstrosity that's just appeared on my head. But then again, after the 24-hour, well, more than 24 hours that we've had, I'm not surprised that this has happened. So basically, I feel like I need to start a little further back before what happened yesterday. So been a little bit like run down, stressed. My current doctor's surgery, because my postcode has changed, they no longer will have me. They gave me 30 days notice and was like, you need to go and find yourself a doctor's surgery, like ASAP. I was like, oh my gosh, okay, this is like crazy. One, because I'm pregnant. Two, because I'm currently receiving treatment through the GP surgery because I am pregnant. And three, because I've got low pape. I'm meant to be going for extra growth scans. I'm meant to be seeing the midwife quite often. Like, they basically were kicking me out and were like, yeah, even if you phone up to try and get an appointment, we're going to see that you're an NM postcode and you're not going to get one. It's like, right, okay. Need to go find myself a GP. Thankfully, we were going to be moving anyway, but I didn't want to leave my midwife. So I still don't know what's happening with that. All I know is that I've changed the angle and I'm now looking really white, so I'm going to move you back here. I've now started my process of registering myself at the doctor's, which is here, and I'm hoping, I'm going to make a phone call tomorrow. They've given me a number to ring. I'm hoping I can stay with my midwife I've got currently, or if not, I can have a new midwife but still give birth at the Milton Keynes Hospital, because I don't want to give birth elsewhere. I want to be at Milton Keynes, and I know that loads of people have been like transferring into Milton Keynes, so fingers crossed, keep everything crossed for me that this works out how I want it to. But anyway, the stress of all this doctor's stuff and everything, along with like just normal life stresses and just feeling really run down in myself and just blech, hasn't been great. And then for the last week, I would say, I've felt really worse for wear. Like, I've been feeling really sick. I've had morning sickness a few times where I've actually ended up throwing up, just not feeling great at all. And I just didn't feel great in myself as it was. Last Tuesday I had whooping cough, that vaccine, and my flu vaccine, one in each arm. Came home, was not feeling great at all. I wasn't feeling great that day at all as it was. I felt really faint, really weak. I've been seeing floaters a lot, like little black dots. I've been seeing like little squiggles and stuff in my eyes, like they've been moving around a lot. I've been having headaches, and just being like going through the walls a little bit with it. So we kept an eye on me because I was like, well, I've just had my vaccine as well, so it might be that I'm just having a reaction to that. A few days goes past, still feeling a little bit blech, but carrying on as normal because that's what I do. Skip forward to Sunday, and we ate, and as soon as I ate, I brought it back up, and it wasn't pleasant, was going for a while, and just couldn't really come to that day, just felt really blurred, just felt nasty and horrible. Went to bed that night and was just like, okay, it's fine, I'll get up tomorrow morning, I'll go to work, I'll like carry on, maybe the routine will like help me. Jamie didn't want me to go to work, bless him. He was like, no, you're staying at home, you're working from home if you have to, like you're staying at home, you shouldn't be going in. But me being me was like, no, I'm going in, I've got stuff that I need to do in there, I'm going in. Woke up the next morning and was just like, yeah, no, not for me. I'm like not feeling great at all. Messaged my midwife, bless my midwife, within 10 minutes she messaged me back and was just like, you need to phone ADAU and see if you can get a checkup because of all the symptoms that you're listing, we just want to be on the safe side. I was like, okay, that's fine. So it was headache, like low, I had really low blood pressure. We took my blood pressure at the beginning of the week and it was low. My blood pressure's been quite low anyway, like I'm just a normal person with low blood pressure. So I was used to kind of floaters and stuff, but the floaters got worse, which meant that my blood pressure was dropping more. I was struggling to drink. Every time I drank, I felt worse, so I felt like I was going to throw up more. Same with eating. So nausea, vomiting, headache, lethargic, like really tired, just couldn't really get going. Seeing floaters in my eyes. What else have I got? I feel like there was a couple of other things thrown in there as well. Like it's just been a lot. ADAU were like, yeah, can you put comments? So spent the day in ADAU yesterday, had full bloods, urine, got checked out by the midwives, got checked out by the doctors, and I've come away with tablets for lining my stomach. So I have to take one 30 minutes. No, I have to take one in the morning first thing and wait 30 minutes before eating. And it basically just lines my stomach a little bit more because I'm producing a lot of stomach acid and getting acid reflux. And it's just not the best. It's horrendous, just not great. And then I've also got anti-sickness tablets, which I can take 30 minutes before eating if I'm feeling really, really sick. Thankfully today I managed to kind of go through it with just having the tablet I took first thing this morning. Touch wood, I haven't felt overly nauseous. I've been very mindful of like what I've been eating. Bless Jamie, he's done me like meal prep and he's done me like little pots and like gave me snacks and was like, you need to eat this and this and this and this and like just take it slow, which I did today. But every time I eat, I just feel exhausted afterwards. Like, even if I'm eating something really small, I'm like, oh God, I've got to digest that now and I'm really tired. But yeah, I feel a little bit better today. Just a little bit more worse for wear. Very tired, just feeling a bit bleh and a bit grotty. Same as the weather, to be honest. So we're going to have a bit of a cosy night in. Jamie's parents are coming over because it's Halloween and we always do this, like on Halloween and bonfire night. They come over and we have like burgers together. I don't know if I want a burger. I don't like the idea of it. Sounds great. And like, I'm like, oh yeah, yummy burger. But then I'm looking at it and I'm like, I'm not sure. So I bought chicken nuggets as a backup just in case. But I have found that the Boost, I think it's the Boost juice, it's from Robinson's. It said it was new, but I recognised the packaging on it and I feel like they've done something like this before. I think it's like their Robinson's Creations. It's the same packaging as that. But the one that I've got is a Boost one. And it's like to do with like boosting your immunity and it's got like B6 in it and it's got really nice berries. It tastes really good. I can drink it, I can stomach it. It doesn't make me feel as nauseous as water does. So I think I'm going to just stick to that for the time being. Watch how much of that I'm drinking just to make sure that the sugar levels are not too high. I just want to be mindful of what I'm drinking and trying to make myself feel a little bit better. There was me thinking that like the second trimester was going to be like all fun and games and like just completely fine. And it's like, no, not happening. So the next saga is going to be what happens tomorrow when I phone the midwife. I don't have the energy to do it right now. To work out whether I stay with the midwife I've got and how that works. Whether I get given a new midwife at the new doctor's surgery, whether I get to give birth at Milton Keynes Hospital, or whether I have to move to a new hospital that I've never been to before that gives me severe anxiety about, and I would much rather be at Milton Keynes with all my consultants and nurses and midwives that I've already seen. But we will see. 5th of November was ready for a day of festivities with Jamie. We were going to go to IKEA and like some other shops to get some Christmas bits to like decorate the house with, as we're hosting Christmas at ours this year. And I went to the toilet and there was blood. I was at ADAU on Monday. It's now Sunday and we're just charging the car so that we can go to the hospital again. I feel like this is the first time that I'll actually get emotional on camera about how tough I actually feel like this pregnancy is going. I was saying to Jay, I keep apologising to him, I keep saying I'm sorry, and I feel like my body just keeps making things go wrong, and I end up with bleeding, I end up with discharge, and I know that's common in pregnancy, but it takes its toll on you. I just want baby boy to be okay, and I know I shouldn't be panicking before we even get there. Like, we're gonna go, and she said like the doctor will probably be doing a speculum, it'll be fine. I've not updated you guys on my pregnancy in so long. Like, I filmed the last clip because I'm currently looking at it on my editing screen. I filmed that, when did I film that? The 5th of November. It's now the 12th of December. I'm now in my 3rd trimester. And I just feel like, let's talk. Let's talk. So the last clip was us going to the hospital and I was going to be having a speculum to check what's going on because I had bleeding. Long story short, was in there, had like, listened to the sound of baby's heartbeat. Baby boy was okay. I don't remember if they took bloods. I can't remember, but baby boy was okay. And after having the speculum, I got told that I had an ectropion cervix, which is fairly common. It basically means that the cells start to grow on the outside of your cervix, so it forms like a pout. So my cervix is pouting, bougie, I'm going to take it as it is, and that's probably what's causing the bleeding because it's like irritated and like obviously you're growing a human being inside. So but then after that it was kind of okay, it was plain sailing. And then I had one more trip to ADAU, and that trip was because I had reduced movement. So the couple of days before I went to ADAU, I had felt lots and lots of movement, especially at work, and I'd be sat on my chair at my office desk, or I'd be walking around on the gym floor and I'd be doing stuff, and I could feel baby boy kicking and moving and like letting me know that he was there, and it was like really comforting and reassuring. Got to the Friday, hadn't really felt anything, and I was like, okay, like it might just be that he's going back to just being moving at night. And I was like, let's just see what happens, because I've been quite like, I hadn't sat down that day and I'd done quite a lot, so I was like, maybe he's just not moving and I've not felt him, or he's moved and I've not felt him. So I kind of left it. I came home, phoned my mum on the way home, got stuck in traffic. That was a horrendous drive home. It took me like 2 hours to do like a 30-minute journey, which was great. Got home, I then like laid on my left side, had a cold glass of water, just tried to get him to move in like the normal positions that I normally find that he'll move in. Didn't really feel anything, nothing at all, to the point where I was kind of overthinking it, and I was like, oh my gosh, have I felt him? And I've just not thought of it. So we phoned ADAU and they were like, because of how far along you are at that point, I was like 26 weeks, so this is fairly recent, and they were like, we might be able to put you on like a tracer, but we might not be able to. When we got there, they were like, yeah, we're going to put you on a monitor because you are low pape. We want to make sure that baby is okay. I was like, okay, that's fine. Like, reassure me as much as you need to. So I got put on the tracer. Why is it as soon as you get put on a tracer, the baby then starts to move, and like you could hear him beating my insides up on the machine, because every time you would hear, he was like, douche, douche. Thanks, baby boy. Causing me stress already, but thankful that he was all okay. And it's really sweet because I feel him moving all the time now, and like when I'm like walking around, it's really weird. Like I'll be doing something and all of a sudden I'll get like a little movement and I'm like, oh, he's just letting me know he's there. And it's like, it's really comforting and really reassuring for me, which is good with my anxious brain. So thankfully, touch wood, going to touch my Christmas tree. There we go. I haven't had any other trips to ADAU. You watch it, I've jinxed it now. I have found out that I have got anemia. So I am now taking another tablet. So I take omeprazole in the morning to line my stomach, to help with my acid reflux. I then have cyclizine, which I take as and when needed, and thankfully at the minute I don't really need to take it. I have nausea, but it's not to the point where I am vomiting everything back up. But I also take aspirin for the low pape. I take that twice a day, and I'm now on iron tablets, and iron tablets are eye-opening, that's for sure. Second trimester, we were like, oh, it's gonna be fine, everything's gonna sail along nicely. No, baby boy's had other ideas, and like to be fair, it is my body has other ideas with it. Oh, and when the doctor phoned me to tell me that he was putting me on iron tablets, he was like, the other reason for calling as well was your white blood cell count is also really high as well. And he was like, have you been poorly? no, I've got a cold now, but it's like weeks later. And I was just like, no. And he's like, okay, it might be to do with the anemia. When we do your week 28 bloods, we'll just keep an eye on you. I was like, okay, thanks, cool. So yeah, second trimester, yeah. I wish it could be like, actually no I don't, because every pregnancy is different, but like all the pregnancies that I tend to see online, like on YouTube and like on TikTok and stuff, and people documenting it, it's all this like beautiful thing and it's like all pretty and like perfect. But thankfully I'm surrounded by other people, so like my hairdresser, bless her, she had the same thing as me, my cousin's wife had the same thing as me, and like it's reassuring to find the people that aren't documenting it on social media, they've had pregnancies like this too. So it's like, it is fairly common to have pregnancies that aren't plain sailing. But safe to say, I don't know if I'd want to do a pregnancy again so close to this one. And that's like a very interesting conversation between Jay and I. We obviously want to be able to have more children, but I said to him, look, the determining factor will be what the labour's like, because yeah, it's an interesting one. But yeah, that's my update for my second trimester vlog. I'm now going to film some clips for my third trimester vlog and get that started, and then I can upload this one. So if you stayed to the end of the video, I appreciate you. If you're pregnant, let me know how your second trimester, or if you're in your third trimester, just let me know how your pregnancy's going and tell me your thoughts to do with labour. I feel like I need to do a standalone video when it comes to labour because my head's fuzzled with it, like really fuzzled with it.